The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal. A touch so cold it makes you feel that near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts unafraid. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown.
Sorry, guys, my internet's running really slow right now because I'm on my backup and the storm's playing hell on my backup too. Plus, I was trying to get everything sent back over to Cory. Sorry, guys. We had another big round of storms come through and just knocked my internet out, and it's got my backup going slower than hiccup. So I think I got everything sent over, and we'll just have to make sure that I got it. So, yeah, I mean, that storm just literally it came up quick. I mean, I heard no wind, no rain, nothing. It was just all of a sudden, boom, and I lost everything. So I'm a little MiFi pack, but the cloud coverage is so thick that even my internet's like really, really, really slow. So we'll see how this goes. I'll let Cory know that I'm back on. But yeah. We had a bad one come through earlier, about an hour or so before I went live again. I mean, it was whipping pretty good, but it quit about 20 minutes before I went live. So I was like, man, this is going to be great, perfect time. And then, nope, nature said, Dad, hold my beer and watch this. Round two, baby. And yeah, I got hammered hard. I don't know where I lost. I mean, I was just sitting there talking away, so I do not know when I lost my live. So if you guys got any questions I may have missed, repost it. I'll get back to them, and we'll keep going. And we'll just kind of wait on and see if when Cory can come in. But I apologize again, guys. That was a nasty one. I just got a text from a buddy of mine who lives about 21 miles southeast of me, and he says, "Yeah, it's raining cats and dogs there." So yeah, it's hitting hard. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I've always liked learning new stuff, and I'm a firm believer that they can they act differently in different territories. I mean, that's proven how some of them are hostile in the northern regions. Okay, I sent you a new one, Cory. Try the new one I just sent. Um, I was hoping it would keep the old one because I went back to the original script on this. But I guess it changes it. I need to remember to make a permanent one, but oh well. That's a fish for another day. It needs to be caught. But like if you look at the northern regions where food is more scarce, they're a lot more aggressive than they are here. Go down south where there may be plenty of food, but there's more things you're fighting for food. They're a little bit more aggressive down there than they are here. So the fact that they do things differently in different areas, if they're that way mentally wise, I can perfectly say they may do other tricks differently. And the Fae may not be prominent there like it is here. I don't know. It's curious. It's interesting either way. Fish on me, heck yeah. I've planned on going fishing this year, and by God, I got my license and everything. I've just been so damn busy, I haven't been able to go. I haven't been able to go fishing in the last 4 or 5 years. Hey, man, sorry about that. That storm came up out of nowhere.
Oh, it's doing the same thing here.
Yeah, it just little later stream or talk studio, but yeah, it just told me Boondock Mojo joined. No kidding, he's been on for about 15 seconds. Yes, I said Fae. Yeah, Fae are very very important here with especially with us Ozark Hill folk. I mean, Fae is just as important to life as breathing for us. I mean, you talk to one of the good old boys in the Hill Folk area down here in the Ozarks. I mean, being an outsider, it may be hard. You may get some that'll talk to you, but generally most won't if you're an outsider. But when you're one of us, we'll talk about it fine. I mean, look at that instant I had a couple months ago that one that almost hit me in the face, and then later on that night I captured on a freaking game cam photo. I mean, Faye is thick. Hey, Vicky. And so no, Faye. So in some cases, they do classify elementals as Faye. I'm not one of those that do. I think elementals are something completely different. But depending on where you're from, some do classify elementals as Faye. But Faye like fairies and stuff like that. Faye originated from Ireland. And what people don't realize, the Ozark Mountains is the oldest out mountain range in the world. It's just been eroded down for, millions, not as big. It used to be Appalachia. The Appalachia didn't get eroded down near as back, and is not near as old as the Ozark parts, but they were connected at one time. And the Ozark Mountains just got eroded down. But just because the mountains got eroded down don't mean that the magic's here and still here. It's still prominent. I mean, I deal with elementals and Fays quite often. So I don't know how about your area there in Okie, but because you're an Okie from Muskogee. Just kidding.
Right.
But I don't know how the Fay area.
I talked to a friend who's got a logging company in Texarkana, and I mentioned the Fae to him one day, and he said, "I know about the Fae," and I said, "Well, how come you never told me before?" But he was getting ready to send me a video from a spot where he knew they were in the woods, and they had a tornado the next day and just demolished the woods. And I didn't get to see the spot. But he was telling me you could tell by looking at the spot, you know they're there. Now, as far as whether I think they're the same thing as elementals, that'd be impossible for me to say. You know, I've seen.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen some older trail cam footage of, and this was back before AI years ago. And this guy said he captured one of the Fae. And I don't know if you've ever seen Hellboy 2, but that prince in that movie,
yeah,
the one with the twin sister, that's what this thing looked like. But lit up bright. Yeah. And this dude's captured multiple figures in the spot. But the way my friend described that spot in the woods looked just like the spot this guy caught all the pictures in. It was an open, circular grass area with trees around it.
That is very, very, very common with the Fae. Is like a mound with trees circled around it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that day I was on with Jessica, that werewolf deal, and I seen that. I was like, that screamed Fae to me right off the bat, because that is very, very typical when you're dealing with a Fae dwelling.
But me personally, that I know of, haven't had any Fae encounters. I could have.
This is the one I was talking about, and this was taken from my game cam. This it did not set off my game cam. This was a test picture that my game cam does at the same time every night. This was taken on 5/26/25. It was 57 degrees, no moon.
Quit.
That there is exactly what almost hit me in the face. When I opened up the dogs were barking at my door. And I thought it was like a possum or something on the porch, you know, so I just let them out. When I opened up the door, this thing, and the best way I can describe it, it's almost like a dandelion, you know, the white dandelion fluff that you blow off the stem when you make a wish. Very similar.
Okay.
But that's what this was. And then I caught this later on that night.
I've seen those in my house.
Mm-hmm.
What you're
And
describing.
the reason why I say this is not a moth is because this, you see the tail. Moths don't have tails. This is like the little fluff area of the dandelion, and there's the wings. Moths don't have those type of tails. So that's why I believe this is possibly a fairy. And there's fairy folk that fit that description. But yeah, that was that night that I had that one. It flew right in my face, and oh crap! I hit the wrong button. Hit me, almost hit me in the face, and I went, holy crap, because I was like, something was flying in my face. I reacted before I knew what it was, and then it flew off into the direction that game cam was at. And that's the other thing I find interesting, is the fact that it flew off in that direction.
Yeah, I've only seen them in the house.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I've had them around. Now I've had there's Fae that are described as orb-like, and I remember one time when I was a kid, we were playing hide go seek in the dark like we always did. Mom, dad, and adults were playing cards. Drinking the adult apple juice, and playing cards. Well, us kids are outside playing hide go seek in the dark. Y'all, I live on the same property that I've been on this property for 33 years. I bought this property after my mom passed away. I bought it off of Dad. I have a very strong connection to this property. This property is one of two places in Missouri that helps center me. That's why I fought so hard to buy this property, because I am a part of this property, and this property is a part of me. And I think that's why my Bigfoot activity is the way it is, when I call him my guest. Why we have such a peaceful relationship, because I'm very much a part of this property. There's not a square inch of this property that I don't know, that I have not been on or done something with. I know my property. I can navigate my property in the pitch of black and find my way home. I've done it. I know my property. And boy, that lightning was a good one. I don't know if you guys can hear that or see that flash, but woo. But I remember one time we played hide and go seek. Well, one of my little brothers, I'm the oldest out of four. There was me and my half brothers for years until mom married dad. And then there was the two stepbrother. I'm the oldest of four. So the third oldest of us, he was it. So the rest of us were running. So I was making a beeline north of that tree line. And I was going to go hide in the tree line like I always do. And mind you, I mean, it's pitch black out. It's probably somewhere around 10 to 12 o'clock at night. I mean, it's late. We didn't give a crap about time back then. And I had a white orb about the size of a softball come flying out of that tree line right at me. And I went to stop and I slid. And I remember because I fell on my butt, on my back. And that thing came right at my chest. When I fell, that thing was still coming at me. And then I just looked up and seen that thing hover for a second and then shoot straight up. And that, I was like, man, I was somewhere between 14, 16 years old when that happened. I mean,
And it was white?
I had my driver's license, so I had to be around 16 to 17. Yeah, it was white because that's back when I drove a 65 GMC Granny Low 3 on a tree. It was white, and that was like one of my first memories of dealing with the Fae was that white orb that shot out of the tree line right straight from my heart. I mean, literally, it was heading straight from my heart.
Did it have a sound? Did it make a sound?
Not a peep. Not a freaking peep. It was just it. What's funny, what's weird about this too was it never emitted light to where it glue. I mean, where it shined in the dark. It was just itself was illuminated, but nothing around it was illuminated.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It had no sound. Its light source didn't illuminate nothing. I mean, it was still pitch black even when it hovered off being shot up. It never illuminated me, the ground, nothing. And that's what I always found weird about it. I mean, all these years later, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it again because it was like one of the freakiest things I ever had to deal with. It's not raining there. Well, it was raining earlier, Roxanne. Now it's raining here. But make sure I didn't miss. Oh, okay. I was wanting to make sure I didn't miss any main comments. But yeah, that was my first experience with the Fae, and I come from northern Missouri. When I moved down here, it took a little while for the folk around here to get used to me because I was an outsider. And, once they got used to me, I worked enough, hog farms, enough cattle farms, chicken farms, hay farms, corn farms. I've mucked my fair share of stalls of hog stalls.
Oh, me too.
Stalls. Oh my God. Of course I thought I was richer than a hen on a golden egg, back then when I was getting paid $3 a day to muck stalls. And then I thought I was really doing good and I got $20 a day for mucking stalls. Hey, Justin.
I had a show pig operation growing up.
We did too.
One day I remember thinking, man, I got too many hogs. And I thought, man, I've never counted them. I counted 119.
Oh, we were so well known for our hogs. We had people from 15 different counties coming around just buy hogs directly from us. We never had to sell at the sell barn. We had people that came because they knew about our quality of our hog. And I grew up doing that. I grew up working on irrigation systems. I grew up, bucking hay. I grew up, mucking stalls and working cattle, and working horses and working hogs and gathering chickens and cleaning out chicken coops. I mean, and I'm talking about big operations.
Jogging next to the pickup, bucking hay into it without an elevator.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'd give a plug nickel for an elevator back then.
Yeah.
Of course,
the first time I seen one, I said, "Man, what's that?"
Yeah. Oh my God! I was like, But I have to admit, by God, it builds strength and character and stamina out of you bucking
Yes,
that
it
hay
does.
all summer long for 14 hours a freaking day.
Builds football strength.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
by
and
the
I
way,
played football.
what happened Saturday? You said did you watch any football?
Uh-uh. Oh crap!
Oh,
I
okay.
guess we're playing now. Yeah, we're playing now, ain't we? Yeah, I know
The
the Chiefs
Sooners had
are doing like crap, but
I was gonna say the Sooners had a hell of a game against Auburn.
did they?
Yeah, that went down to the wire. I was a little
MSU.
nervous.
Oh, hey, we're up 3-0 against New York. We're both 0-2, so I mean, one of
Chiefs.
us is going to come away with the victory today.
I don't know
Yep.
about you Chiefs fans.
Man, I've been a Chiefs fan since I was knee high to a grasshopper's ass.
Hey, I tell you,
Yeah.
when I became a Chiefs fan, because I hated San Francisco growing up.
Oh,
But
man,
when
I
Joe
did too, but I
Montana,
like Montana. Oh, I love
well, this is when Joe Montana left San Francisco, and Marcus Allen came with him. And this is the first time they'd made the playoffs in I don't know how long. I think they went to the championship and got beat. But man, I was rooting for that Chiefs team that year.
Dude, we should have went, but Schottenheimer, man.
He's kind of outdated.
I had no use for that guy. I never was a
Never cared
Schottenheimer
for him
fan.
either. Never cared for him either.
The man never trusted his players. He never trusted the players. You had an all-star like Joe Montana, and you can go to the Super Bowl by throwing a touchdown pass, and you decide you wanted to try your kicker 10 yards outside his normal average. And that makes about as much sense as a Ted on the boar hog. I mean, you just don't do any stupid stuff.
That's
But
right. You remember that?
Oh, dude, I've never wanted to throw a TV out of my house so damn bad when he made that call. I was like, "You got Joe Montana
And Marcus
you
Allen.
got right." And Marcus Allen, yeah. I mean, come on. But yeah, no, I never was a Schottenheimer fan. But it's funny on this type of stuff because people don't know much about the Fae. They don't know much about the cryptids, and the two go side by side because they literally live together out in the wild. So that's the whole point when I was talking to Native Tracker earlier. It's like, look, they know that knocking on these trees can provoke a Fae. That's you. I grew up knowing you don't whistle at night and you don't knock on trees. Bad things happen when you whistle at night and knock on trees.
I didn't tell you about this, Eric. I had something whistle at me from across the highway the other night.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. First time I've ever heard whistling come from across the road. But if y'all don't know, I live next to a salvage yard. Okay. I've seen orbs out in this thing, out in the salvage yard. I don't know how many times. I got up close to one night. It was a blue one, and it growled at me and a friend of mine. And I told him not to get up on it, get close to it. And he wasn't. He was a skeptic until that night, and he hasn't been back since.
Yeah.
He goes, "Okay, Cole, you win." I said, "I wasn't trying to win, I said, "I told you not to run up on it."
Yeah. There's a reason why we say don't do that, But
he said, "I just want to rush it." And I said, "No." I said, "Dude, I have to live here."
It's just like paranormal hunting. People don't understand why I don't provoke when I'm paranormal hunting. Dude, it's not me that has to deal with them at the end of the day when I pack my stuff up and leave. It's my client who has to deal with that. Why am I going to piss something off that's going to raise hell for my client? I'm not going to do that. And that's why I get so aggravated with these paranormal teams on TV all the time because they're constantly provoking. I was like, you're harming your client. Just for a few clicks.
No gung ho trigger happy guys. That's what I've got a friend. He can't control his excitement, and he's like, "Man, I want to go with you." And I trying to figure out a way to tell him nicely, I don't want to make him mad that he's not the type of personality to take with you to do that.
No, I mean that's people don't understand. Like, I'm not going to take somebody out in the woods that I don't hardly know.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, that's my life and their life, in my hands. And if they do something that provokes, these cryptids when we're out there, we're going to wind up as a steamy pile of poo on the forest floor. I mean, I want to go out kicking and screaming, covered in blood, just like I came into this world, but not in that manner. No.
Fight or flight is only when it's the last option.
Yeah.
And the deal is, I've held my mud so far, with my encounters, but I've seen all these orbs and everything, and I have no idea if they're the Fae or whatever, but I know that one growled at me and my friend that night.
Yeah. Well, and I made my bones doing this stuff by making mistakes. I've always done investigations by myself. Very rarely have I ever had the opportunity of somebody going with me on these things. Hold on one second. My oldest is calling. Hey, Cory, if you wouldn't mind, carry on for a second. Let me tell her I want to call her right back.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day about these encounters that I had. My first one at the cemetery, my tree break encounter, and I got growled at. And this was when I was young. And this thing starts growling at me, and I'm thinking it's a big piece of equipment, like an excavator or something, idled up, because that's all I knew at the time. And I think what those 2 or 3 experiences were before it took a while for me to realize it, but they were a lesson in respectfully coming on into someone else's spot in someone else's house, because they live there. And I'm telling you right now, before I go into an old dilapidated structure or whatever, I knock. That's very important.
I about made that mistake once in Shellwater Bay training area in Australia when I was there for Operation 10 for us 2001 training with the Aussies. And we came across an old abandoned building. And they, the Aussies was telling me, yeah, there's a family that live here and they got massacred by the Aborigines and telling me the whole story. So I'm like, dude, it's ghost. Hell yeah, I'm down like there ain't no tomorrow. I'm going in this bad boy.
Knucklehead.
Yeah. I can tell you, my first experience with a yowie was that day in that moment, because when my foot touched that first step of those steps to that old house on that training range, there came this deep, evil-like growl that came out of that thing. And I stopped and went, oh, crap. And I remember an Aussie says, dude, that's a yowie. And I didn't know what a yowie was. I never heard of a yowie before. I was just a 21-year-old Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps. I didn't know. Woo,
dude, their nicknames are so Australian, when they nickname something. A yowie.
Well, I'm sorry, I got to do it right. It's a yabby. That is a yabby.
But, when we were on 4-wheelers that day and I heard that tree break, I know the difference between an old rotten tree breaking and a fresh one. This snapped like a shotgun. I mean, and my cousin goes, probably an old buck rubbing up against an old tree. And I said, Eric, that wasn't an old tree break. That was a fresh tree break. And he's like, well, we need to ride down there. And I didn't know at the time. And we rode down there and killed the 4-wheelers. And within a minute, this thing started roaring, but it went roar like that. And I'm thinking, all I know is a big piece of equipment idling up, throttling up, is the only thing I can, compare it to. Then Charlie, my dog, is, hey, if the phone gets knocked over, it's my dog. Anyways, I was so young and green. Man, I thought it was a piece of heavy equipment, so I start running to where I hear the roar, and then it quit, and then go to a different spot and do it again, and I'd turn and I'd run towards that spot, And I'm sure this thing was thinking, what is wrong with this dipshit? You
Mhm.
know, I'm trying to scare him off and he's running to me.
Yeah. It's, I'll give you that, bolt gun. Lance Cooley's don't know. Yeah. I didn't know. I mean,
Yep, he did it. Get down. There he is.
I'd put a comment. Can y'all hear these dog men going at it behind me? Because it's Boar and Snow is sitting there playing behind me, and all I hear is rah, 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 rah.
Golly. I found a video of my dog the other day when he was a puppy, and I was like, God, he looks like the dog that ate the puppy now. Here he is.
Yeah. No, I'm not calling you.
Oh, he's turning back looking at you.
Yeah, I didn't call you. Come on, dude. My headphones. Yo, peace, my brother, peace.
But I play the harmonica, and I can't practice with this guy around. As soon as I start practicing my harmonica, man, this guy goes crazy.
I forgot that I can't howl around this dude because this is how he acts. Chill, man. I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. Good to see you back, William. Yeah, the storm knocked me out.
Down.
Okay, now go on.
Sit.
Go on.
Sit.
9. Go back.
Sit.
9.
Sit.
That's also why you 9.
I showed you what he did the other day when I was watching your show, and I told him to go on. I come back to a big old mess.
Yeah. Well, that's why I got to keep him in the kennel when I'm gone because he'll tear my whole house up.
Oh, I got a kennel too. I had my buddy build me one out of cattle panels. This thing's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he didn't think I was watching him. I put him in it, and I acted like I wasn't paying attention. And he had his paws in there trying to figure out how to get the snap ring off of the little hook. I was like,
God dang it, what you do to my headset, dude? This is a nice little headphone set. Gosh dang it.
Man, I need to get everything set up for my show. I got a microphone and all that stuff. I just hadn't got around to it yet.
Yeah, he came up here and did something to my little headset. Now, if it's moved a certain way, I get a weird little noise in my ears now. Probably broke one of my wires in it.
You know, on the back to what we were talking about, I don't go anywhere in an investigation now without taking tobacco.
Yep.
And, you know, I learned a lot from William. And try to learn all I can. You know?
Yeah, that's important. Important thing to do that people seem to forget, you know. And
well, there's a podcast I watch, and these guys are Navajo medicine men, and they're, you know, 3rd, 4th generation shamans. And when they go on their investigations and stuff, if they come up to an old structure or whatever, and they'll take a spirit box with them, and I know this is legit because the spirit box, they speak Navajo into it. When you hear it, they talk back in their language. And I've always wondered about that. I said, how come you never hear anything speaking in another language? You know, it's all English. And I follow their channel, and I've learned a lot from them too.
If you read a lot of the old ancient text, they tell you that even with the Fae or anything dealing with supernatural, you always take an offering of either honey or tobacco or some kind of food to get a blessing from whatever spirit's in that area.
You know, I went back to the cemetery where I had my first experience and took some fruit back, and I went up to that double grave that I told you about and apologized for trespassing that night. And told them I'd be back someday.
Yep. You know, like that day I went out. Hey, Kason. Um, that day that I went out and done that initial werewolf investigation when I was trying to get to feel the land and I had that evil thing hunting me. Um, you know, I knew right then I had a spot that just came out and told me, goes, put tobacco here. So that must be a spot with the spirits because I felt it deep down in my soul. And that's about the only way I can describe it is you
I've had
feel it
that.
in your soul that this is
Yes,
where you need to take it.
it's a conscience. It's a conscious, or what is it? It you don't. I've never heard it speak out loud, but I've heard it speak in my heart.
Yeah. It's like it
You know,
spoke to your spirit saying,
yeah. Like that day, I almost walked up, and I realized now I almost walked into a portal,
yeah,
and I heard that it spoke to me, told me to turn my ass around and go back out the way I came. Trust that always.
oh, yes. I'm a big believer in that. Only because of my experience just suggests that that is what you're supposed to do. And, you know, that's why I'm all about that. And I'm always telling people, you know, in some areas, I don't feel the presence of something there or the need to put tobacco out because it's, you know, they're not in every square inch of this land. But the places that you do feel it, I highly suggest that you listen to that and do it.
Yeah, especially if it's an unfamiliar place or a new place you've never been.
Yeah.
Especially.
So, but when that rock called out to me, and it says, you know, offer tobacco. Yep, I'm doing it. That kind of took down somewhat of that static in my ears. I don't know. I think he broke a cord in my headphones. I'm gonna have to get new headphones now. Um, but I don't like wearing the big ones because I wear my hat, so that you know, and it gets in the way of my hat, the big ones. So I like these things here, which came with this soundboard I got. So I'll just have to work on getting me a new set. But that's my fault because I didn't even think about him being there when I was messing with your dog and howling. Yeah, he always gets like that. Anytime I howl, man, he's right there, and he's not happy that I'm okay until he thinks that I'm okay. So
I'm working on mine not going crazy when he sees a cat.
that was hard. That was hard work with him. So and that and chickens. You know, for you know, I love pit bulls. Pit bulls are like the autistic child of the dog world, but they're the most amazing thing, most stubborn and hard-handed dog to train in the world. He reminds me too much of a damn pit bull, and he's only lab and bird dog mix.
This one reminds me of a Jack Russell. His attitude.
Yeah, I mean it's pit bulls are terriers, and Jack Russells are terriers. So, I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
After yes, that's true, William. I mean, and that was a beautiful encounter they shared today when they done that offering, like you said. So
Yeah.
the storm knocked my stuff. Oh, you're talking about William's deal. Yeah, William, David and Melissa shared on William's show this morning. You know, go to the William Nighthawk High Strangeness and on YouTube. What they had on that camp out. That's why I love what I do. What I do. You know, that's why I love what I love, man.
And
You know,
hey,
like
I've got, like I said, my friend runs a timber crew, logging operation. And when they go, they call it cruising timber, where they'll go in and mark the property lines on a job, and they do it with ribbons, with red ribbons.
yeah. That's actually a very good point right there, Native Tracker. I've literally got audio from my front porch of a female Bigfoot speaking Lakota, and what
Yeah.
William and I originally thought was two different males speaking speaking Chickasaw, but the more we listened to it, the more it sounded Cherokee. I'm a big believer in they speak different languages, which makes
Yes, they
sense
do.
because the Native people talk about how they coexisted together for years until a bad accident happened at a rendezvous, you know, at a powwow, you know.
Yeah.
So it
I've
makes
read
sense.
about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of them hurt a young
Yep.
warrior.
By mistake. I mean, it was totally an accident.
Yeah. But that's typical how that can start and create a rift between, you know, another tribe, just an accident like that.
Yeah. If you get a chance, Native, the video, I can't remember what episode it is, but it's with William Nighthawk. I think it's called Bigfoot Vocals, if memory serves me correctly. And you'll hear them. I mean, you'll hear them hooping, hollering, kind of mumbling, walking on my porch, walking up my ladder on top of the roof of my porch, playing with things on my porch. You'll hear them in the distance talking back and forth. I mean, the female, clear as day, said Shante, which Shante in Lakota means calm yourself, you know, and it's even in the lullaby, Lakota lullaby. Shante.
That's an awesome piece of evidence. That's awesome.
Dude, I'm starting to get teary eyed thinking of it again, because that is the holy grail of captures when it comes to Bigfoot.
Yeah, I was happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, William. Yeah, exactly right. But you know, it's just amazing. But you know, and what's funny is you know we were David and Melissa was on William's show talking about, yeah, we went out looking for Bigfoot, but we caught this. I originally set my audio out to catch that extremely loud wolf howl that I've been hearing about once a day every night. And what happened, because I had Jessica on a show with me, and we got done talking backstage, and then I went out in just my shorts and a coat and some flip flops to get some firewood from the fire shed, and all of a sudden I had that really, really, really loud, ear piercing loud wolf howl to the north of me. Split second later, a crap ton of extremely close coyotes to the south of me, and I was stuck in the middle. I'm like, crap, I'm right in the middle of a damn turf war. Is this a freaking dog man? Because, dog men are known in my area. They're very well known in my area. Same as Bigfoot. So, that was what I'm thinking is like, dude, I'm right in the smack dab in the middle of the dog man and coyote turf wars, what the hell it is, and all I got's nothing but my fluffy looks and an armload of wood, so I stuck my parabolic mic out there with my digital 360, because I figured out how to record nonstop with a parabolic mic and a digital 360. And I set that out on my front porch, and what I caught was not what I went after. Yes, I've heard him speak Japanese and Chinese. Yes, in fact, I think
samurai chatter.
Yep. What was that, Corey? If you remember correctly, I think it was like 2 or 3 months prior to me catching that audio. I came in, it's like, dude, I just heard them speaking that samurai chatter down in my valley in the same area that these vocals came from. I literally heard that 2 or 3 months before I caught these vocals on audio. What does Mei Pa Tai mean? Sound it out, spelling it out.
All right. Okay. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Maybe pay to we. I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I'm getting scared. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Eric, you have so much going on in the Ozarks. It's going to ramp up even more. Dude, it's been like that for years. Well, yeah. Exactly. And I'm right down the street from the freaking Dallas County cannibal deal that happened. Literally, as the crow flies, it's only 6 miles from my house. Hey, Pyro, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? No kidding. Yeah, that was wow. He says, I clearly heard scare them in Cherokee before they roared at me and a friend. I can see it. Absolutely. Absolutely, I can see that happening. So,
yeah, that one I heard that day just went, whoa. And I was sitting there thinking, there's no heavy equipment out here. Yeah. I'm going to go see what it is.
I spent 33 years out here hearing them go, whoop, and then or a whoo, or a or a whoop. I've heard that too. And sorry. Boy, will you stop? I'm just he thinks I'm in trouble. Behave, young one. Boy. But I mean, I grew up hearing them noises all the time out here. Now, when my mom was still alive and dad was still on this property, um, they would come in mid to late fall to early to mid spring, and anytime I'd leave for work, because they knew when I left. I mean, that they usually would give me a whoop, and just like that, and it'd be not far off from where my vehicle's parked at. They would just whoop, and it was basically their way of saying, "Hey, we're back." You know, since I've taken over the property and it's just been me and the kids here, and now just me, it's 24/7. I've got Bigfoot activity out here 24/7 now, and and I think that's because Dad was the type that would shoot shots in the air and ask questions later.
That's what I was going to say. Walk outside and shoot in the air.
Yep. So, and what's cool is them calls I just mentioned. I caught them on that audio too. Of course, you was listening to that live when William and I did it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I still get teary eyed thinking of it because I mean I was like, finally, after all these years of talking about it, people thought I'm full of crap. I have it. I have the receipts.
Not me.
To back it up.
Not me.
Yeah, welcome back, Vicky. So we're extending a little bit more than the 8 o'clock mark I usually do, just because I had that issue with that storm knocking my internet out. You got any closing thoughts on today's show?
Me?
Yeah.
Who the hell else would you be talking to, right?
Casper, friendly.
My closing thoughts are just to anyone who goes out, be respectful. Yeah. And, another thing is I don't go out alone. When I go out now, I've always got somebody with me that I trust, that I know can keep their composure in case we have an encounter. And, listen to William and take his advice. Because I take anybody's advice that sounds good, and I keep that person with me in my heart wherever I go, by myself, but not alone. Because one of these days, what they teach you can save your life.
Yeah. Do you mind telling them a little bit about what you got going on?
I haven't got any videos up, but on my page, my Boondock Mojo page, I posted the diagram photo of the winged gremlin that my best friend took in front of his house, and his drawing of what he saw that night. And I was wanting to mention on the earlier show this morning that these things, a lot of them have the ability to manipulate digital equipment. Because that winged gremlin was causing interference in my friend's phone when he was trying to get video of it. And he was smart enough to switch over to camera, and it wasn't quite as bad. But there's a reason why it's difficult for a lot of these things to catch a photo of them, a clear one, because they can distort your equipment. No doubt about it.
Look, I mean, if you guys watch my investigations, I started recording my investigations. That's something new, which I'm learning how to put out better videos. I'm constantly learning because I'm a one man operation and I'm learning by myself. I don't have somebody sitting here do this, do that, do this. I'm literally every video I do, it's me editing, trying new things out to see what works. Um, and you'll hear me say it and you'll see it all the time where they're shutting my devices off. They're draining my batteries. They're distorting the picture of my, anytime I deal anything with paranormal or supernatural, that happens every single dang time. I'm so disappointed on this video I'm getting to put out because the first, dang near hour, I know I hit the record on my camcorder because I looked at it before I walked over and started the investigation, and it had record on the bottom. It didn't record, and I didn't realize it until I got up and checked for like dang near an hour of the investigation, and there was nothing saved in the deal. Although the screen literally said record, because I looked at it, little red REC, record 00 hoo-ha dots 00. That told me right there, it's recording. That's how I know my camera's recording. So, this video is going to be a little different because a good portion of it in the beginning is going to be all straight from my cell phone when we was doing the EVP session before I realized it. So, yeah. Yeah. I know, William.
Hey, I wanted to tell William, I forgot to tell him today, the picture I sent you, Eric, of my dream?
Yeah.
Because Native Tracker said something about learning to walk with them. That dream I had, I drew a picture of it, William, and I emailed it to you.
Yeah. Hey,
I sent it to Eric, too, today.
Yeah, that's cool. But, and that's something that, me and Williams hit on this so many times. The reason why I think I have such success when I'm paranormal investigating, or I have such good interactions with the Fae, with the elementals, with the cryptids here, is because I live with respect and peace on my property. I respect my woods. I respect my land. I respect them. And that's extremely, extremely, extremely important that you remember that aspect. It's not just respect in itself. It's respect for yourself, respect for your land, respect for your woods, respect for them. Folks, there's a reason why I don't have to sit there and I just forgot the term when you're pissing off the ghost. I don't have to
Antagonize.
Antagonize them. Yeah, the different term is what I was talking about earlier. Now I forgot. It slipped my brain. There's a reason why I don't provoke. Thank you. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't provoke, because not just because A, they have to live with that, but B is I always treat these things with respect. Now you're going to get some that don't like you being there, and they're going to tell you run, get out, leave, stuff like this. You got to stay in your ground. So, but you can stand your ground like I do in the videos and not do it in a provoking way. I just stand my ground. No, I'm allowed to be here. Let us talk. And once they warm up to you, and the cryptids are the same way. Once they warm up to you, activity starts flowing, man. And it's that way.
It's kicking back up out here.
Yeah.
At my house, it died down for a little while, but it's kicking back up now.
Oh yeah. When I hunt and gather on my property, I don't hunt more than what I need. What I don't use, I give to my forest family. I don't gather more than what I need. I leave some for them too, because they're eating it and gathering it just the same as I am. And that's, I could be completely wrong, but that has worked for me for 33 years out here. I'm not going to change that now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we sit by the campfire, sing kumbaya, because we don't. And I'm not going to tell you that I won't ever have a bad experience with them, because I am a firm believer they are just like us. And you got some that either A, have a bad day, or B, are just a real nasty critter. And that can turn 33 years of peaceful, amazing encounters into a terror, a horror show in just a snap of a finger.
Well, like that day, I heard the roar and didn't know what it was and ran to the sound. That could have ended bad.
It could have.
very bad. And,
Oh, yeah.
and I realize now what a doofus, I was.
And that's usually, from my understanding and my experiences, that was a territorial display. And
Yeah.
I'll have times when I go out, start to go out in my woods, and I'll get that feeling, stay out. And I know it's coming from them. I can't explain to you. I just, for some reason, it's just like I know when to do the tobacco offering. You know, in your spirit, your soul, your very essence, this is who it is, and they're not wanting you to come out. And there's times I have to go out there. I have no choice. Now, do I go out packing pretty heavy? Yeah, I'll go out packing pretty heavy during that time. But they also don't mess with me because they know, hey, we told him not to come out. He's coming out, and he's going to do his stuff, and he's going to leave. He's going to be done quick. And that's what I do. I go in there, I get my stuff done as quick as I can and get the hell out. I'm not there messing with them. So, and I could be completely wrong, but that's just my experiences.
Here's what I take.
I got a seven bolt action 7 mag, and then now I've got a new this is Sparta edition that I can take out with me now, tactical version.
I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Manny Puig, but that show Wild Boys with Steve-O, where they used to go do crazy stuff with wild animals and everything. He's the
No,
long-haired guy that's always, huh?
I just knew him from Jackass.
Okay, Manny. You talking about Manny? Okay.
Both of them.
That guy is, when it comes to predators and stuff and their nature, he's a smart dude. I saw him doing an underwater shoot in a deep ocean off the coast of Florida, and he loves mako sharks, and they were swimming with him, and it kept going towards this lady that was diving with him. And what it was, she was the weakest swimmer, and they know who's struggling in the water and who's not. Mm-hmm. And he went over there and got by her and took out his knife and held it out in front of him. And he said, the predator sees this. He sees me as another predator now,
Mm-hmm.
And it backed off. And I was man, they respect the blade.
That's why things in nature try to puff up and make themselves look bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That is a natural defense against something like that.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do as well, So, closing thoughts, I'm the same as you. Respect. Definitely 100% respect. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but don't go out alone. I'm trying to find people close to me to go out with. It's hard. Hard for me to find somebody because I'm very, very picky who I take with me on an investigation.
Somebody trying to run away can cause you, somebody to get hurt.
Yep.
Hey, Vicky, my email is boondockmojo, Cory Cole @gmail.
Mm-hmm. And so, that's how it is. Everybody, thank you for coming in tonight. Cory, thank you for coming on, bud. I always have a blast.
Anytime, man.
Once again, I apologize. Storm knocking my internet out for a little bit. That's why there's 2 takes of this show going on. The storm was so bad that it was messing with my backup internet, causing it to be extremely slow. And now the storms are gone again. So, but next week, Friday, I'll have to get it put up. We'll have the first ever writers workshop with my special guest, D.A. Roberts. I'm going to try to once a month have authors come on with me for a writers.
D.A. is awesome.
Yeah. And next Sunday, I will be having 1 Foot in the Grave paranormal team with me. We're going to get to do that live now that they got their technical stuff fixed. So that is scheduled for the 28th, which is next Sunday. And I'm hoping here in a few days that I can have this last hour, maybe 2 at the most, of this video done. And I'll have it released on the members only first, and then for about a week, and then I'll release it to the public. That's just one of the perks of being a members only. You get a view of my videos before anybody else does, of my investigations that I go on. And then after it's been on YouTube for a little while, then I'll put it on my webpage. So guys, keep an eye out for that. INR readers, I'm sorry, I'm behind. I've just been too busy to write. I'm still looking for your comments on the stuff I've got up there. I am still working on Rise of the Draugr, Reign of the Draugr, Rise of Armageddon. I am almost halfway done with that book. Um, I ain't had time to write, man. This has been one hell of a busy week. You know what I mean? Busy ass week. So I've
See,
not
now
had
you got
time.
you got all your bad luck out of the way.
I hope so. My God, it came in. It came with a vengeance between tires and my daughter being in a wreck and my vehicle needing to work on my vehicle and it's just oh my gosh, man. Yeah, it's been a one of those weeks that I wish I'd had a quart of moonshine or a gallon jug of moonshine. I can just kick back and say screw it all, you know. So luckily, I've got like 7 weeks of time off saved up. So taking an extra 2 days when I didn't want to. And I already took a day off the last couple of weeks because of my knee, but I had to take 2 days in a row because of my truck. So you know, it is what it is. But so I'll see you guys next week. Make sure you go and subscribe to Cory's show, subscribe to Jessica's show, DA's show, William's show. I'll see you guys next week on my show and William's show. So, with that being said, everybody, peace, love, and blessings, and thank you all for coming in. And to my new subscribers at OG, thank you guys very much. I'm truly blessed and honored that you guys come listen to this old hillbilly talk. So thank you so much for that. To give a shout out to my mods, Cory, Roxanne, William. They make this stuff possible, and I'm truly grateful for every single one of you guys. So I'll see you guys next week. Peace, love, and blessings, everyone. Bye.